Renting isn't the consolation prize everyone thinks it is. Owning a home might be the single most overrated financial decision of your entire life, and today I'm going to show you exactly why. Here's the number nobody talks about. The average homeowner spends about 1% of their home's value every single year just on maintenance. That's before property taxes, before insurance, before the interest on your mortgage. On a $400,000 home, that's $4,000 a year just to keep the roof from leaking and the pipes from bursting. Nobody puts that number on the glossy real estate brochures. Now compare that to renting. When something breaks in a rental, you make one phone call. You don't pay for it. You don't lose a weekend fixing it. You don't lie awake wondering if that crack in the foundation is going to cost you $30,000. The landlord eats that cost, not you. But the real trap isn't maintenance. It's what economists call opportunity cost, and it's the piece almost nobody explains properly. When you buy a house, you typically put down 20%. On that same $400,000 home, that's $80,000 locked into a single illiquid asset. Locked in, meaning you can't touch it, can't move it, can't easily turn it back into cash without selling your entire house. Now imagine instead you took that $80,000 and put it into a simple low-cost index fund. Historically, the stock market has returned around 7% a year after inflation. Run that forward 30 years, and that $80,000 alone, untouched, could grow past $600,000. That's not rent money. That's not a bonus. That's just what your down payment could have become if it wasn't sitting frozen inside drywall and a roof. And here's where it gets uncomfortable for anyone who's already bought a house. Your mortgage payment isn't building wealth the way you think it is. In the first 10 years of a 30-year mortgage, the overwhelming majority of every payment goes toward interest, not principal. You could pay a bank $1,500 a month for a decade and barely make a dent in what you actually owe. Meanwhile, that same $1,500, invested monthly instead, compounds every single month, working for you instead of your lender. Let's talk about mobility, because this one gets ignored constantly. The average American changes jobs every 4 years now. Career opportunities don't wait for you to sell a house. If a job across the country pays 30% more, a renter can move in 30 days. A homeowner has to list the property, wait for a buyer, pay 6% in realtor commissions, and hope the market hasn't dipped since they bought. That flexibility has a dollar value, even if nobody puts it on a spreadsheet. Now, I know what you're thinking. Rent is just throwing money away, and at least a mortgage builds equity. That phrase, throwing money away, might be the most expensive piece of financial advice ever repeated in America. Renting isn't throwing money away any more than paying for groceries is throwing money away. You're paying for shelter, and shelter is not optional. The question was never whether to spend on housing. The question is, which version of spending on housing leaves you with more money at the end of 30 years? And when you actually run the math, factoring in maintenance, property taxes, insurance, interest, and opportunity cost, renting and investing the difference frequently comes out ahead. There's also the tax myth. People love saying homeownership comes with huge tax breaks. But since the standard deduction nearly doubled a few years back, the majority of homeowners don't even itemize anymore, which means that mortgage interest deduction everyone talks about often provides zero additional benefit. You're paying thousands in interest every year for a tax break most people never actually receive. If you've made it this far, hit subscribe, because next week I'm breaking down the one investing mistake that's quietly costing the middle class trillions of dollars a year, and you don't want to miss it. None of this means buying a home is always wrong. If you plan to stay in one place for 15, 20, 30 years, if you want the stability of never facing a rent increase again, if you value the psychological comfort of owning your walls, that has real worth too. Money isn't the only variable in this decision, and I'm not telling you owning is stupid. I'm telling you, it is not automatically the smart financial move it's been marketed as for the last 50 years. The mistake is treating homeownership as a guaranteed wealth-building strategy instead of what it actually is, a lifestyle choice with a financial cost attached, the same way renting is a lifestyle choice with a financial cost attached. The winning move isn't picking a side and defending it emotionally. It's running your own numbers, honestly, including maintenance, taxes, insurance, and what that down payment could have earned elsewhere. So here's what I actually want you to do. Before you sign a 30-year mortgage because someone told you renting is throwing money away, sit down and calculate what your down payment would grow into if invested instead. Calculate what your monthly mortgage payment could become if it went into an index fund every month for the next decade. Then compare that number honestly to the equity you'd build in the same home. For a lot of people, especially anyone who might move within the next 5 to 7 years, the math quietly favors renting far more often than the American dream narrative wants you to believe. Owning a home isn't the villain here. Blind faith in owning a home as an automatic financial win, that's the villain. The people who build real wealth aren't the ones who buy a house because they were told to. They're the ones who run the numbers first and then decide.